Hi, and welcome to another episode of Boozing with Boomers. I'm Dave, and I've been on a quest to learn how to make a great balanced cocktail. So please hit the subscribe button so we can go on this journey together. Today we're going to make the Paper Plane, a modern classic cocktail created by the famous Sam Ross. He's created a bunch of other cocktails as well, so he is a good resource if you're ever looking up cocktails. Back in 2008, Sam worked at Milk Honey in New York City and created this cocktail as a riff of another drink while listening to the song Paper Plane by the British rapper MIA. When he was done with his creation, he decided to name his drink after the song, and that's what we're going to have today. The other thing about this cocktail, it became so famous across the country, and I think across the world, but more in particular, it was in Toronto it became famous, and it has been widely reported that every single bar in Toronto serves the Paper Plane. So for those of you that live in Toronto, for those of you planning on visiting Toronto when we're allowed to visit again, please have a Paper Plane, take a picture of it, share it with us, and tell us about the bar so we can build a library of bars in Toronto where we can try out the Paper Plane as part of a scavenger hunt, so to speak. To make this today, we're going to use ingredients we've used in a lot of cocktails, but I'm introducing you to Aperol, which is an orange bitter. So again, it's not overly orangey, it's got the bitter flavor, similar to the woody, earthy, bitter flavors in Amaro Nonino that we had in a couple cocktails as well. And because we're around Turkey Day, I thought we'd make this drink with wild turkey, and I'm choosing Wild Turkey 101 to give it a little extra flavor and extra punch. And lastly, we're gonna have lemon juice. So, what's also nice about this recipe, very easy to remember, it is 3/4 of an ounce of each of the ingredients. So I'm making 2 today, but each cocktail will be 3/4 of an ounce pour. So 3/4 of an ounce of the lemon juice, 3/4 of an ounce of the Aperol, 3/4 ounce of the Amaro Nonino, and 3/4 ounces. Actually, that last one was the Aperol because that's what gives it, I think I went backwards. Again, not a trained professional. So, but it gives it a really nice orange color, so it really does stand out on the bar. And then this is a shaken drink because of the lemon juice. So remember, anytime you add citrus to a cocktail, and I think there's only one that I found for different reasons you want to shake the drink to really infuse the flavors, but also add air to it so it gives it a different texture as well. And always remember to put a lot of ice in your cocktail shaker so that you're not over diluting the cocktail as well. And the other thing he warns, as I'm talking while the ices are in there, do not overshake this cocktail. So I'm actually not going to shake it for the full 20 seconds. I'm going to shake it probably about 20, 25 shakes, so about 15 seconds, and I'll be right back. Again, this is served up, and let me get my glass. I don't know why I'm such a purist that I want to pull the glass out right before I pour the cocktail. I guess it would be okay to have it sitting on the bar as you're making the drink. But the whole point of chilling a glass is especially drinks that are up. So as you can see, this is a nice orange hue to it. Let's make sure we have some for the boomer. But one of the reasons you chill the glass is for up drinks is it will keep it colder longer. So not only are up drinks great because you get a chance to drink all the ingredients that the bartender took a lot of time to figure out that go well together, but because there is no ice diluting it, it won't change its flavor. However, when it goes from cold to warm, it might change some of its flavors. So that's why we chill our cocktail glasses. So let's see how I did. Wow. Not a typical winter drink, but I thought it would be interesting to mix it up as I go along because it's not very heavy. It's the kind of cocktail, if people say I don't like whiskey, you're putting a bunch of bitters in here that tamp this down. And the addition of the lemon juice also kind of allows all this to meld together, so it's great. The other thing I learned, a couple different things. I tried this with different variations of lemon juice, And interestingly enough, instead of doing 3/4 lemon juice, if you did 1/4, it becomes more of an orangey drink. So if you're interested in the orange flavor, again, does not heat up on you. It's still a very delicious drink, just more orange forward. And then the other thing we learned is if you don't, so if you've been drinking along the way with me and upgrading your home bar with all the Noninos I've suggested, if you don't have Nonino Amaro, we tried it with Averna Amaro and it tastes great as well. So again, we'll try to keep our home bar to be a practical one, but it's important you understand what the original recipe was, and then you can do your riff from there. And lastly, if you want to understand how the paper plane became a modern classic, I am going to put a link in the description so that you can go to an article that gives you a little more detail about Sam Ross and the development of this cocktail. So until next time, I appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Boozing with Boomers. If you did, please hit the like button and subscribe so we can go on this journey with Boozing with Boomers together. Cheers.